Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to talk about a couple of new trademarks that have been filed over in Japan. And you know the deal with this, right? We're talking about trademarks that have been filed in Japan. No, there is no guarantee that these end up being Japanese sets, let's be clear. However, when I'm looking at this stuff, I'm looking with people like the lovely Primal Lugia and Matthew Arrive, Immunity on Twitter, and people who frankly really know what they're talking about. And our hit rate with this has been pretty gosh darn good. Go and look at any new set which has come around in the recent past, and you'll see that we covered that trademark. Stellar Miracle, the set that just got revealed this weekend in January of this year. I showed you a video about Stellar Miracle. I showed you back in January that trademark was filed, and now that set has gone and been revealed. So when I'm sharing this stuff with you, we're not talking about reckless speculation here. We're not talking about, well, what's he seen this and it may or may not be real. Nah, mate. We are talking about incredibly likely. Not a guarantee. Let's be clear. I cannot guarantee this ends up being a Pokemon set. It could be anything. It could be something else, but I do feel very, very, very confident. Cool. So with that borne in mind then, what have we actually got here? Well, we've got ourselves a couple of sets, one of which is Terastal Festival, and one of which is Glory of Team Rocket, or Rocket Group Glory, if you really want to be a pedant, or Rocket Group's Glory. The glory belonging to Rocket Group. I love this. And look, we'll get to Terastal Festival in a minute, but I think it's pretty obvious at this stage what Glory of Team Rocket is. Alright? It's a Team Rocket focus set. There should be no issues with that. That one should be pretty obvious. And it's a themed set, and I'm telling you now, this is going to be good. This is going to be a good set. This is going to be a popular set because it's baiting out Gen 1 fans. And let's be clear, Pokemon in recent history have been absolutely fine baiting out Gen 1 fans. And I'm not saying this is a bad thing. I'm a massive Gen 1 fan. I appreciate this. But we had 151 recently, which was blatantly aimed at Gen 1 fans. We had Pokemon Go, which is a more casual set that wasn't just Gen 1, but go and look at the card list from that set. That had a heavy Gen 1 focus, alright? Pokemon are absolutely fine with this. They love going for Gen 1 focus sets, and they're doing it again. Team Rocket were the antagonists of Gen 1, and we're going back to the well. Could this mean a borderline reprint set? Think back to Evolutions, and how Evolutions largely, not completely, but how Evolutions was largely kind of base set focused-ish. Again, not perfectly, let's be clear, but not a million miles away. That was cool, right? Like how we had the Charizard from Evolutions, which was basically base set Charizard. Well, I mean, it was base set Charizard, let's be clear, alright? It was base set Charizard. Could we be doing that again? Because let's be perfectly clear about this. We've had Team Rocket sets in the past. We had Team Rocket, which was a very early set. Team Rocket was actually the 5th expansion of the Pokemon TCG. 4th if you don't count base set 2 as its own set, although I do. And then a while later in the EX series in Gen 3, we had EX Team Rocket Returns. Those were sets that happened. And in those sets, we had a bunch of Team Rocket cards. Could we be getting... Again, I'm not saying a reprint of this set, but I am saying, could we be seeing some kind of homage, some kind of throwback, some kind of thing to those two sets? I don't know. But it would be fun now, wouldn't it, ladies and gentlemen, It absolutely would be fun. Maybe we see a return of some of the older cards. Like, we had dark cards, like Dark Blastoise, for instance, and Dark Charizard, that came around in the Team Rocket set initially. They would be cool. We obviously had Here Comes Team Rocket, although Here Comes Team Rocket was actually reprinted as part of the Celebration set. Remember that happened? That was a thing. That was weird, right? Kind of cool, though. That was a fun card. Maybe we get something else along those lines. I would be totally okay with this. Or if we have a look at, for instance, Team Rocket Returns, we also had Dark Pokemon. Now, this is important. I don't know, let's go for Dark Steelix, Dark Dragonite. I don't know, there's a million of them. Take your pick. But the point is, we had dark cards in both the Rocket sets previously. Could we see a similar kind of thing here? Maybe. Could we see Rocket's Meowth? Or Rocket's Wobbuffet like we saw in EX Rocket Returns? Could we see Team Rocket own Pokemon? Maybe. Rocket's Mewtwo was a pretty big one. Rocket's Snorlax is one of my favourite cards ever. Or how about Pokemon Star cards? Like Torchic Star, for instance. How about Here Comes Team Rocket? Again, this is just throwing out some cards that we had back in the old Rocket sets. I don't know these cards are going to be in the set. But I can look at this and say, they're clearly making a Rocket set. And they know that we had 2 Rocket sets previously. Can you honestly tell me you don't think there's going to be some kind of throwback to those Team Rocket sets? Maybe there won't be. But I'm rather suspecting I think there might. It's something I am very, very excited to see. As for the other set, Terastal Festival, I am seeing some speculation, and I have also agreed with this, could well be the high-class pack. This could be the high-class pack with which we end the year. When I say high-class pack, we're talking about the fancy end-of-year set, like the booster pack which is on the screen at the moment, which is, of course, your Shiny Treasures EX. That was last year's special set. It would end up being Scarlet and Violet 8A, because it's always a multiple of 4A. Similarly, the previous year, we actually finished off the Sword and Shield block with V-Star Universe, for instance. That was a cool one. VMAX Climax, that was another one. These are the kind of sets we're talking about. These fancy end-of-year sets that come around with lots of cool stuff in. Could they end up being sets with lots of shiny Pokemon? Could they have lots of fancy artwork rares? Yes. Yes, they could. We don't know is the honest answer. And also, you know that with the exception of VMAX Climax, which went a little bit differently, generally speaking, when we get these sets, it's a special set of our own kind of thrown in at the end of the year. It's extremely cool. I am a gigantic fan of it. It makes sense. And obviously, when they say Terastal Festival here, there should be no surprise. It's going to be a celebration of Terastal Pokemon. Obviously. We've already seen that in Stellar Miracle, the most recently released set, the one I told you about at the weekend, back on Sunday, we saw Terrapagos. And obviously, we've had Terra Pokemon since we had Scarlet and Violet base. And again, look at those last ones I just showed you. VMAX Climax, celebration of VMAX Pokemon. Shiny Treasures EX, celebration of EX Pokemon. V-Star Universe, celebration of V-Star Pokemon. So, Terastal Festival, celebration of Terastal Pokemon. I mean, yeah. Honestly, this is exactly what Japan tend to do with these special sets. And this is why, incidentally, there's so much speculation about it being a high-class set. Because generally, it's generic, exciting word, universe, festival, shiny treasures. And then the name of the particular fancy kind of card that is doing the rounds at the moment. And they are keeping the exact same cliche. That's not what I'm going for. That's not the word I want here. convention. There we go. They're keeping the exact same convention here. So, yeah, do expect this to be our end-of-year set, because of course it's going to be our end-of-year set, because it's about Terastal Pokemon in the same way that Shiny Treasures EX was about EX Pokemon. So there we go. There are 2 new sets coming, and these 2 new sets, incidentally, are going to be big. Like, the end-of-year high-class set is always big, and a Team Rocket focus set, you're telling me that one's not going to be big? Nah, mate. That one's going to be huge. And it is nice to get 2 trademarks of new sets and be able to sit down and immediately go, yeah, I feel confident this is what we're going to get. But I've told you now, so it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.